The queen snapped at a maid, and Mila's pale blue eyes widened as purple glow overtook her. I felt everything grow still. Across a royal dining table, surrounded by werewolves who called us mates, I had seconds to stop my sister from detonating. Would I be fast enough? Enough. Anatoly roared. I felt his power blast out from his chest, smacking into everyone around him, and causing them to flinch and cower. Everyone except me. You dare to further insult me by taking her side, the queen asked him. How could you? She's not good enough for you, and you know it. She looked hurt, but I felt no emotions emanating from her, which was odd. Dmitri decided to join the argument then. With respect, your majesty, don't you dare talk about our mates that way. You don't even know them. And you do, Beta Dmitri, the queen questioned him. One plane ride and you're suddenly experts, she scoffed. Dmitri's rage burst out of him and suffocated me with its intensity. I knew it was only a matter of time, before Mila got worked up as well. I had to do something to stop this, before she blew up. Literally, Anatoly was glaring at the king, who sat back and watched the argument unfold with a bored expression. Eventually, he cleared his throat and sat forward in his chair. I've heard enough, he said evenly. That's all it took to silence the entire room. The queen scoffed again and looked away. She must have noticed the fireplace had died down because she snapped at the closest maid. Why haven't you fed the fire? She shouted. And that was it. I watched Mila's pale blue eyes widen as the purple glow overtook her. She focused on the queen, and I felt everything grow still. Instinctively, I jumped up from my seat and launched myself across the huge wooden table. I flew into her and wrapped myself around her like a spider monkey mere seconds before she detonated. I contained the majority of it, but the chair she had sat in was completely destroyed. Scorch marks fanned out around us, as we sat on the floor, panting heavily. Dmitri knelt slowly next to Mila so as not to startle her, taking her hand gently in his. Anatoly caught me as I tried to slide backwards away from them. My head was swimming and I could feel the thrum of my own power spilling over. I took deep breaths as the nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. He wrapped his strong arms around me and turned me to face him. He frantically looked me over for signs of further injury. Are you hurt? He asked, his voice trembling with a terrifying amount of concern. I'm fine, I gritted out, though my side was screaming in protest. You are absolutely not fine, Anatoly growled. He stood and scooped me up into his arms, ignoring the king and queen entirely. Put me down, I demanded, pushing against his chest. Not a chance in hell, he said, walking out of the dining hall with me cradled against his chest. I looked back to see Dmitri gently helping Mila up from the floor. She looked shaky, but the purple glow had faded from her eyes. Once we were out of the dining hall, the silence in the hallway was deafening. Anatoly didn't stop until we reached the east wing, where our guest quarters were located. He kicked the door open and marched into the sitting area, placing me carefully on the couch. Stay, he commanded before walking over to the kitchen area to grab a wet cloth. Don't tell me what to do, I snapped, though I stayed put because my ribs felt like they were on fire. He returned and knelt in front of me, dabbing at a scratch on my arm with agonizing tenderness. Why did you jump into the line of fire? You could have been killed. I did what I had to do to keep her from killing everyone in that room, I retorted. Including you. He paused, looking up at me with those golden eyes. The intensity of his stare made my breath hitch. You protected me. I protected everyone, I said, trying to ignore the way my heart was hammering against my ribs. Thank you, he whispered. He didn't move to pull away. Instead, he leaned in closer, his scent of pine and sandalwood completely surrounding me. You don't have to be a soldier here, Masha. You're safe. I scoffed, leaning back as far as the couch would allow. Safe. Your mother just tried to demean us in front of the entire court. She is a bitter woman, he replied. But she will never touch you again. I promise you that. I looked at him, wanting to believe that this madness could actually end. The door opened and Dmitri walked in with Mila. She looked exhausted, but she was smiling at Dmitri. The queen is throwing a tantrum in the dining hall, Dmitri said, offering a small, amused shrug. The king is trying to calm her down, but I don't think she's going to be happy for a long time. Anatoly stood up, his face hardening as he turned to Dmitri. I want guards posted at every entrance to this wing. No one enters without my personal authorization. Not even the queen. Dmitri nodded once. Consider it done. I watched them, the way they moved, the way they spoke. This wasn't just some show of power. They were preparing for a war, and for the first time, I felt like I was on the right side of it. "We need to talk about the facility," I said, finally breaking the tension. "They're going to come for us. It's only a matter of time." Anatoly turned back to me, his expression grim. "I know. And when they do, they will find that they have made a grave mistake." I felt a surge of strength at his words. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a test subject. I felt like a fighter. Mila walked over and sat down next to me on the couch. She looked at me, her green eyes filled with a new kind of resolve. "We're done running, Masha," she said. "Yeah," I replied, feeling the power within me pulse in time with hers. "We're done running." Anatoly and Dmitri exchanged a look, and I could see the respect in their eyes. They knew what we were capable of, and now, they knew we were ready to use it. "Then it's time to prepare," Anatoly said, his voice cold and steady. "Because if the facility wants a war, that is exactly what they are going to get." The air in the room seemed to shift, charging with electricity. I sat back, the pain in my ribs fading into the background as the reality of our situation set in. We were no longer victims. We were the weapon, and we were finally pointed at the people who had tried to break us. This was no longer about survival. This was about vengeance. And God help anyone who stood in our way.